All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today, huh? We're going to be looking at electric vehicles, specifically in Italy. Picture this.
Mhm.
You're on the Italian autostrada, the sun's shining, maybe you just had some amazing pasta,
Ah, yeah.
and suddenly your EV needs a charge. Wouldn't it be awesome to find a super fast charging station right there, perfectly spaced along your journey?
Oh, absolutely. That'd be a dream.
Well, guess what?
Eh.
That's becoming a reality thanks to Renault and its Mobilize arm partnering up with Free2X.
And this isn't just any partnership. This is big. Renault's taking a significant stake in Frito-X, which, by the way, is a subsidiary of the Italian highway authority, Autostrade per l'Italia.
That's a mouthful.
It is, it is. But basically, they're joining forces to create this network of high-power charging stations along those picturesque Italian highways.
So we're not talking about those slow chargers that take hours, are we?
No, no, no. These are the get you back on the road fast kind of stations.
Nice. So tell me, what's the deal with Free2X? What's their setup right now?
Well, they already have a pretty decent network. I'm talking 110 charging stations strategically placed about 50 kilometers apart along these highways. Think of them as pit stops for your electric stallion.
Love that analogy. Pit stops for electric stallions.
Uh,
Okay, so imagine you could drive from, say, Milan to Rome without that dreaded range anxiety.
yeah, that's the goal. And here's the best part. These stations aren't just for Renault drivers. They're open to all EVs, no matter the brand. It's a truly open network.
It's a pretty big deal, right? It shows a real commitment to building a charging infrastructure that benefits everyone, not just one specific brand.
Totally. It's all about collaboration and growing the electric vehicle ecosystem as a whole.
Okay, so cruising down the autostrada without range anxiety sounds amazing. But I have to ask, why is Renault so focused on this? Why are they, through Mobilize, putting so much effort into becoming a leader in the fast charging world?
Well, their vision is much bigger than just highways. Mobilize wants to see fast charging stations everywhere. Think about it. You're at the grocery store, and while you're picking out your tomatoes, your car is getting a quick power boost in the parking lot.
That's the dream.
Right. It's about making charging as effortless as possible. They want to integrate it into our daily lives.
So it's not just about convenience, it's about completely changing how we view owning an electric vehicle, making it, well, normal. And from what I've heard, this vision extends beyond Italy. They're talking about a Europe-wide fast-charging network. Now, that would be a game changer, wouldn't it? Imagine being able to drive your EV seamlessly across Europe knowing a fast charger is always within reach.
It would be revolutionary. It could be the thing that finally pushes more people to make the switch from gasoline to electric.
Okay, we've got this major partnership aiming to transform EV charging across Italy, and maybe even all of Europe. But who are the brains behind this electrifying vision? I know we have some intel from Calpurnia about the leadership involved. What have they got to say?
Calpurnia is particularly impressed with two people. Luca De Meo, the CEO of Renault, and Oliver Zipse, the CEO of BMW. They see them as key players in the European electric vehicle game.
Hold on, BMW. They're not even directly part of this deal, are they?
No, but Calpurnia sees both these CEOs as leading the charge, so to speak, against, well, the big guy, Tesla, and the rising tide of Chinese EV makers. They're like the European champions in this global electric vehicle showdown.
That's an interesting take. I like it. So let's start with Luca De Meo. What makes him a champion in the electric vehicle arena?
Well, he's got quite the resume. I mean, he's worked at Renault, Toyota, Fiat, Volkswagen, even Seat. Years and years of experience.
So he's like a walking, talking encyclopedia of the auto industry.
Pretty much. And since taking the helm at Renault in 2020, he's been all about electrifying the brand. He's the one who launched the Renaulution strategy.
Renaulution, I like it.
It's a bold plan, to transform Renault into a fully electric brand in Europe by 2030. Quite a shift for a company with such a long history in traditional cars.
Definitely a bold move. So he's got the experience, he's got the vision, but is he actually putting it into action? What's happening under his leadership?
Oh, he's not just talking the talk. He created Ampere, a whole new division within Renault dedicated to electric vehicles and software.
Wow, a whole division. That's a serious commitment.
It is. It shows that electric isn't just a side project for them, it's the core of their future.
It makes you wonder if this electric focus is tied to his leadership style at all.
It's interesting you say that because De Meo's known for valuing agility and quick decision-making. He's all about adapting to the changing landscape, and right now, that landscape is clearly electric.
That makes sense. So we've got a glimpse into Luca De Meo and his vision for Renault. Now, What about Oliver Zipse over at BMW? Why does Calpurnia see him as another European champion in this electric vehicle showdown?
Zipse's approach is fascinating because it's not about completely ditching the past. He's been with BMW since 1991, worked his way up to CEO in 2019.
Wow, that's a long time. So he really understands the BMW legacy.
Absolutely. He gets their heritage, but he also knows they need to evolve.
He's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? He's finding a way to merge BMW's legacy with this push for electric.
Exactly. He's focused on electrifying their lineup while also exploring other sustainable solutions like hydrogen fuel cells and synthetic fuels.
So he's keeping his options open, making sure BMW stays ahead no matter which technology takes the lead in the long run. But let's face it, electric seems to be having a moment right now. What's Zipsy doing to make sure BMW stays competitive in the electric arena?
Well, one of the biggest things is their investment in the New Class platform. This is a platform designed specifically for electric vehicles, and they're pouring over 30 billion euros into its research and development.
Okay, that's serious money.
It's a clear sign that BMW is not just dipping their toes in the water, they're diving headfirst into the electric pool.
A dedicated EV platform and billions of euros in R&D. It sounds like BMW is preparing for a full-on electric offensive. But what does that mean for the average driver? What can we expect to see?
We're going to see a wave of new and exciting electric vehicles from BMW in the coming years. And they're not just electrifying existing models, they're building a whole new generation of electric vehicles from the ground up.
So we're talking about a whole new era for BMW.
Exactly. And you know what's particularly interesting is how these moves are tied to the broader sustainability movement. Remember the European Union's Green Deal, aiming for climate neutrality by 2050.
Yeah, I remember that. Ambitious goal.
It is. And these investments in electric vehicle technology are a big step toward achieving it.
So it's not just about competition and market share, it's about aligning with a bigger movement toward a more sustainable future. Which makes you wonder, what does this shift toward electric vehicles really mean for the average person? How will it impact our daily lives?
And that's a question we'll be diving into in the second part of this deep dive. We'll explore the practical implications of this electric revolution, the challenges we face, and the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. So stay tuned, because this conversation's just getting started.
You know, it's really kind of wild to think about how all of this move toward electric vehicles will actually change our lives. It's not just a different car.
It's a whole different way of thinking about getting around. Right. But let's get practical for a second. How will this electric revolution actually affect our daily routines?
Okay, well, think about this. Instead of stopping at gas stations, you plug in your car at home overnight, like charging your phone.
That does sound convenient. But what about people who live in apartments or don't have their own charging setup? Is that going to hold back EV adoption?
That's a great point, and that's why what Renault and Mobilize are doing is so important. It's not just about highways. They're thinking about charging solutions for cities, shopping malls, anywhere people go.
So it's about creating this network that works for everyone, no matter where you live or what you do. Exactly. Everyone needs to be able to charge up easily. But, it's not just about the logistics of charging, right? What about the actual driving experience? How does an EV compare to a good old gas-powered car?
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, first of all, EVs are incredibly quiet. No engine noise, which is especially nice in cities, and they need less maintenance. No oil changes, spark plugs, none of that.
Okay, quieter, less maintenance, and of course, better for the environment.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, a lot of people still think electric cars are, slow. Not as powerful as gas guzzlers. Is that true?
Not at all. Electric motors give you instant torque. That means as soon as you hit the pedal, you get this burst of acceleration.
So they can be fun to drive too. I like it. But we got to be real, right? There are still some hurdles to overcome before EVs take over the world.
Oh, definitely. Cost is a big one. EVs have come down in price, but they're still generally more expensive up front than gas cars.
Yeah, that's a barrier for a lot of people. Any chance those prices will get more competitive anytime soon?
Well, the good news is that battery technology is constantly improving, and as production increases, prices should keep coming down. And there are government incentives and tax breaks in a lot of places that help too.
So hopefully affordability will become less of an issue over time. What other challenges are we facing on this road to an electric future?
Range anxiety is another big one. Even though they're getting better, some people are still worried about running out of charge, especially on long trips.
I get that, especially if there aren't enough charging stations around. But it seems like Renault and Frida X are trying to tackle that problem head on with their focus on a bigger, more powerful charging network.
Exactly. Expanding that charging infrastructure is key. As charging becomes more convenient and accessible, that range anxiety should fade away.
It's kind of a catch-22, isn't it? We need more EVs on the road to justify building out a massive charging network, but people are hesitant to buy EVs if they're not sure they can charge them easily.
It is a bit of a chicken and egg situation, but I think things are starting to change. With companies like Renault making these big investments, it's encouraging others to follow suit.
So it's creating momentum, a ripple effect throughout the whole industry.
Exactly. And it's not just car companies. Governments are playing a big role, too. The European Union's Green Deal, for example, is pushing for electric mobility with targets for reducing emissions and incentives for EV adoption.
So it's a team effort. It's not just on individual companies or consumers to change. It's about governments, industries, and everyone working together.
Right, it's a big shift. And let's not forget about the environmental benefits. Electric vehicles produce zero tailpipe emissions. That means cleaner air, especially in cities.
That's a huge plus for public health. Cleaner air, quieter cities, less dependence on fossil fuels. It's a pretty compelling vision for the future. But we can't ignore potential downsides, can we?
Of course not. We have to be aware of the environmental impact of battery production and disposal. EVs might be emission-free on the road, but making those batteries can use a lot of energy and resources.
That's a really important point. It has to be sustainable from start to finish. Are there any efforts to address those concerns?
Oh, absolutely. There's a ton of research and development happening right now focused on creating more sustainable batteries, using recycled materials, figuring out how to recycle the batteries efficiently.
So it's a work in progress.
It is, but it's an evolving technology and it's getting better all the time. This whole transition to electric mobility is complex, no doubt about it. There are pros and cons.
It definitely is. There's no easy answer.
Yeah.
But what's exciting is to see all this innovation and collaboration happening across the industry.
It's true. You've got established players like Renault and BMW making big moves, and you've got all these new startups popping up with innovative solutions. It's a really dynamic landscape.
And like we talked about before, it's not just about the cars themselves. It's about building this whole ecosystem to support electric mobility, renewable energy, smart charging technologies, user-friendly charging infrastructure. It all has to work together.
Right. Everything's connected. So we've covered the practical stuff, the challenges, the benefits. But where do we go from here? What does the future hold for all of this? Well, that's what we're going to explore in the final part of this deep dive. We'll look at emerging trends, potential disruptions, and the long-term vision for a future where electric vehicles are the norm. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into the possibilities that lie ahead.
We've talked about charging networks, the global EV race. It really feels like the auto industry is changing faster than ever before. And like we're just at the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's incredible how this whole electric thing is driving innovation everywhere. Batteries, charging, the way cars are even designed. It's like one advancement leads to another and another and another.
It's not just about putting an electric motor in an old car anymore, is it? It's a whole new way of thinking about vehicles. So what are some of the most exciting things happening in this EV revolution right now?
Well, one of the biggest is the rise of solid-state batteries. These could be a huge step forward. They have the potential to be more energy dense, charge way faster, and be safer than the lithium-ion batteries we use now.
Okay, that sounds pretty amazing, but what does it mean for someone who actually drives an EV? How will those solid-state batteries change things?
Imagine charging your EV in the same time it takes to fill up a gas tank, and not just a little top-off, a full charge that'll take you hundreds of miles.
No more range anxiety, huh?
Exactly. That's the promise of solid-state batteries. They could make EVs practical for anyone, even if you drive long distances.
That would be incredible.
Hey,
But it sounds like that's still in the future. Are there any other cool advancements happening right now that are already changing things?
absolutely. We're also seeing more and more EVs with advanced driver assistance systems. Things like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, all those features that make driving safer and easier.
I have noticed those in some newer cars. But why are they so important for EVs specifically?
Well, EVs are perfect for these systems because their electric powertrains are super precise and responsive, and they're a big step toward fully autonomous driving.
Self-driving electric cars. Now that's a future I can get behind. But let's focus on what's happening right now. What can we expect to see in the next few years?
For one thing, there are going to be way more types of electric vehicles available, not just small cars or luxury sedans. We're talking electric trucks, SUVs, even sports cars.
So there's something for everyone now.
Yeah, pretty much. More choices, more competition, which is always good for the buyer, right? It leads to lower prices, more innovation, better cars overall.
It's not just about saving the planet anymore. It's about getting a cool, high-tech car that just happens to be electric. I think that'll appeal to a lot more people.
For sure. And like we talked about before, the shift to electric isn't just about buying a different car. It's about changing how our whole society works. Governments are pushing for lower emissions. Cities are investing in electric buses and trains. Companies are making sustainability a priority.
So it's bigger than all of us, isn't it? It's a whole new way of thinking about transportation and our impact on the world.
Exactly. But we still have work to do, right? We need to figure out how to recycle those batteries, make sure those raw materials are sourced ethically, and make charging accessible to everyone.
Absolutely, we can't ignore those things. But I do think there's a real desire to find solutions. People are starting to understand how important this is.
And that's where you, the listener, come in. The choices we make today matter. Whether you're thinking about buying an EV, pushing for more charging stations in your community, or just learning about sustainable transportation, you can be a part of this.
It's not just a conversation, it's a call to action, right?
hmm
We're all part of this, and we can all make a difference.
That's the point. And as we've seen in this deep dive, it's a future full of possibilities. Powerful charging networks, self-driving EVs, a cleaner planet. The road ahead is pretty exciting.
Well, that brings us to the end of our electrifying deep dive. We've covered a lot, but there's always more to explore. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating topics.
And tell us what you think. What excites you about electric vehicles? What worries you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.